Okay, thanks for coming out. Short notice, I appreciate it. Today's a good day. Happy to announce both these guys coming on as our coordinators. I just want to make a couple statements. First of all, the two guys, Todd Orlando and Kevin McGivern, very, very good friends and did a tremendous job here for the 2 years that we've all been together, and continuing what we've done here at Utah State, and I think taking it to another level. And so very appreciative of their work and efforts here at our program. But as we say around here, and we've said it and probably beat it a little bit too much, is this program is not about one person. It's not about one coach. It's about the logo. It's about this brand and this team that we have put together several teams in a row now. And it's something else that I say is you put several teams in a row, then you become a program, and that's what we're getting. And it's not about one quarterback, and it's not about one coach. And so these two guys will come in and add to what we're doing and hopefully take us to another level. And so first off, one thing I'm going to announce is Mark Weber will now be our associate head coach, continue to coach our offensive linemen and do a great job there. So Josh Heupel, offensive coordinator, and will coach our quarterbacks, all of them. But Josh has been a very good friend of mine for about 15 years now. I've known him. Did a tremendous job at Oklahoma throughout his career, especially as the last 4 as the play caller. Averaged over 36 points a game for 4 years. And the output, I think, goes without saying. You guys can read the numbers. I didn't really, honestly, completely know that until a few days ago when I was researching it a little bit more. But without a doubt, this was the guy I wanted, and very, very happy that he's agreed to come on and coach our QBs and take our offense to another level. His background and how he structures an offense completely fits in line with mine. In fact, I visited him professionally several times. A lot of the stuff that we do from a pace and a tempo and a offense from those, I don't know what the right word is, methodologies or the way we do things are very, very similar to what he has done in his career. So I look for that to be a very quick, actually, transition. And then in terms of continuity, bringing Kevin back, Coach Clune, it's a no-brainer for us. And putting him right back into that defensive staff room where he knows exactly the terminology, he knows the wrinkles of our defense, and when something's not working, he knows how to fix it real quick. And to have him back in the building, he was here as a linebacker coach for 5 years. I think all you have to do is look at his body of work as a linebacker coach from, one of our favorites that's going to play next Sunday in the Super Bowl, Bobby Wagner, to Jake Dowdy, to Kyle Gallagher, to Zach Vigil, to all of them, Kyler Fackrell, and now Nick. He's had a hand in developing every one of them, from recruiting them to develop them in that room. And then what he did at Hawaii, I think, speaks wonders. And I know a lot of you guys heard me say that during the week of Hawaii, how impressed I was with what he's done, how far he took them, and how he changed that culture of playing defense out in Hawaii. I think is a tremendous, really a reflection of the body of work that he did as soon as he left out of here about a year ago, almost, not quite to the day, but pretty close, huh? Yeah. So anyway, very, very glad Kevin is back. And so these two guys, look forward to, finishing up recruiting here in the next 10 days. It's a sprint to the end. And these guys and this hiring at this time, I don't think will do anything but help those efforts, but more than anything, for our kids. The players in this program will always be the driving force behind everything that we do. And so when I sit back and I think about who we were able to attract as hires, as coordinators, I am not surprised. And I think the reputation of Utah State continues to grow in our profession as college football coaches, in our circles. And the interest in this job was really way more than it was 2 years ago. Trust me on that one. The people that I had conversations with about these two guys and others was way more than 2 years ago, and that's a reflection of the kids in this program on the first floor. And at the end of the day, that's what I wanted to do, is hire the 2 best people for this program, for our players in the locker room, for the defenders, for all the guys on offense, especially the quarterbacks. And I couldn't have hired 2 better men to take this program hopefully to another level and to continue to really build on the foundation and the things that we've done here for quite some time the last several years. So very happy. I'm going to go ahead and let you guys start firing questions away. And from here, go ahead and open it up for any questions that you have made for Josh or for Kevin.
Josh, how excited are you to inherit the quarterbacks here who are proven winners, and each one of them can play any given day?
Yeah, Matt reminded me of that on the way into this press conference. I'm excited about working with the entire offense as a whole. Got a lot of people coming back, but that room in particular has shown a great ability to just the next man up and to play at a championship level. And excited about getting the opportunity to work with all those young men and trying to find a way for us to be the most explosive offense we can be and find a way to win ball games next year.
Josh, after this past season with Utah State, going through 4 quarterbacks, what attracted you to come here?
I think first and foremost, I have some familiarity with this program dating back to when I was a player. To see the transition and the leadership of this university and the vision that it has moving forward is something that's extremely attractive. What the alumni base has done, stepping up financially, giving themselves the opportunity to compete at the highest level. You look at the track record of what it's been able to do the last 4, 5, 6 years as a program as far as competing on the field. This is something that I wanted to be a part of. It's got great leadership from the top down, and Matt Wells, he's somebody that I think embodies everything that's good about collegiate athletics. And for all those reasons, it was a no-brainer for me.
There was a coaching staff here before 10, 20 years ago that thought they had you signed to play here.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, Dave Arslanian and his staff. Yeah.
Tell us about that. What was your process, and how did you end up somewhere else?
How much time you got? I'm from Aberdeen, South Dakota. Came and played at Weber State for 2 falls, redshirted and then played after tearing an ACL in a spring game. Coach Arslanian took the job here. I went to Snow Junior College. Had planned on coming here. Some things happened. They started a young quarterback, and that's when I opened my recruitment up and ended up getting an offer from Oklahoma and went there.
And Mike Leach was involved in that?
Correct. Yeah, I was recruited to Oklahoma by Mike Leach. He was at Kentucky at the time. When he first called me, they were playing in I think the Citrus Bowl there, and that was right after he took the job at Oklahoma as the offense coordinator.
Kevin, how nice is it to be back? It's almost like you hadn't even left.
Yeah, I think it's a year and 6 days. Hawaii's pretty cool. I don't know if you've ever been there, but it's nice. It's good to be back here and with the kids that I know and the situation and jumping right in. I don't think I'll skip a beat. We got a whole new set of a whole new schedule, a whole new set of things with the kids. Got to find a ways to replace Zach and replace Brian Sweet and B.J. Larson and all those things and all those challenges that go with it. This is a brand new edition of Utah State football, and so I'm happy to be here and get going on that.
What finally made your decision, Kevin? Sorry. What finally made your decision to come back?
There's a lot of things. There might have been 13, 14 different things I was talking about, and it's just coming back to a program that when I got here in 2009, nobody thought about Utah State. Everyone wanted to schedule us, that type of thing. Now it's completely different, and over those 5 years, there was so much progression each step of the way, and now it's coming right back to that. What's the next step for us? What's 2015 got in store in 2016, and all those things, in the future. you know, excited to be back with Nick Vigil and those guys, and just, you know, the guys I feel like I kind of raised a little bit. So it's, you know, it's gonna be a good situation.
To see one of your former players, Bobby Wagner, reach his second straight Super Bowl, how proud of you or him and what he's been able to accomplish?
Yeah, and you know, we rarely get to watch NFL, and so at the end of the year, I finally get to watch 2 or 3 games, and I'm so proud of him. I really do try to stay away from him during the season, during camps. I don't try to bother him at all. Give him a text, you know, here and there. But just the way, you know, 2 things is the way that he plays the game. There's still that youthful enthusiasm. I think that the Seattle Seahawks have that, and that Coach Carroll's done a great job, you know, building that up. And so, but watching him play the game, you know that he still loves the game. You can see it in what he does. And then the second thing is that every time I do get to be with him, you know, he comes back to Logan every now and then, just what a man he has become. And not flashy, not, you know, bling or anything like that. He's just a guy. He's here to take care of his life, his family, those types of things. I'm so proud of who he has become as a person. And, you know, because who knows what he could have become after, you know, all the temptations that are out there. But I'm very proud of him, and every time I get to watch him play is a warm spot for me. It's a good thing. But it's also when, you know, Kyle Gallagher is getting a job. You know, Kyle Gallagher's talking to me about going to grad school or something. You know, and when I first met Kyle Gallagher, he wasn't going to go to class the next day, let alone, you know, that sort of thing. And so to see all those kids grow up to be who they are, and you know, Zach Vigil and Jake Daddy, when they first got here, I used to joke that they were, you know, diseased and sickly, and they were so skinny and small, and now they become who they become is they've been such good people to this school and out in the community. To see all those things is why we coach. It's why, you know, it makes you feel great. So not only Bobby, who is showing it on the greatest stage in the world, but also guys like Kyle and Jake and all the other guys that have come through there.
Was Bobby all that when the first day you saw him? Or?
Really, Bobby had a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. Like, you could see it, but it wasn't. He was so raw that it wasn't there yet. You could see what he could do, but it wasn't there yet. But he had a chip on his shoulder that he wanted to show you that he could be the man. And we had a 3-on-3 tournament here one Saturday in the spring, and that's when it was like, whoa, look at that guy. And you know, you could see him compete. You could see all the things he could do. He really had to take, because he wasn't a seasoned football player. He didn't play much in high school, didn't get to redshirt, and so he had to really learn a lot about football. And as he progressed to his senior year, where he could tell you what's going on with everything, was such a joy to see. And so at the beginning, no, Bobby wasn't Bobby at the beginning, but at the very end, you know, now you're talking about him in you know, different ways, and you know, the way he was able to show the other guys, and Jake and Zach probably wouldn't have been Jake and Zach without Bobby showing the way and Kyle showing the way for them. So it was a great to see that transition through the time I was here.
Kevin, being away for a year at Hawaii, being the defensive coordinator there, and then coming back, what did you learn in your time at Hawaii, being the defensive coordinator, now coming back to that same position here at Utah State?
Well, yeah, I was a coordinator at Southern Utah for a bunch of years, and Weber State, and then going to Hawaii, and now back here. And I don't know how to explain it, but there's a lot of more of the same, where it doesn't matter what situation you're in. It all starts with effort, hustle, pursuit. It starts with winning the one-on-one battles. It starts with being tough and fighting through the hard times and all those things. So it's always the same. And even though, you know, coming into this situation, well, this is a much more veteran team, but you're going to lose those certain guys to graduation, and now the young guys, you know, even though you felt that you've taught those lessons already, you still got to teach it to the young guys again, and they have to learn it until they become the guys that are out on the field. And so it's a lot of that, more of the same. And you know, I go through my career, and at Southern Utah was not a very good team. We made them pretty good, and then Weber State took over a team that wasn't very good and made them pretty good, and then, you know, Utah State here, and that was a situation and made them pretty good. Now this is the first time I'm coming into a situation where I wouldn't say the table's set, but they've had that success. They have that winning and mentalities. And so just trying to step in and go from good to great, trying to find ways to go to the next step. We've got a great schedule next year, and a bunch of new guys that have to step up in key positions, middle backer, safety, and some of the lineman spots. And so trying to find those combinations to make that all work is going to be the challenge, and that's a great set of challenges.
Matt, for you, naming coordinators, doing it simultaneously, obviously you have two openings, that's kind of rare that it happens at the same year, but naming them at the same time, and the timing of it all with recruiting, how important is it to get this done while there's still a recruiting window open?
Yeah, I think there's some importance to that. It kind of just happened that way, to be honest with you. The timing with both Kevin and Josh, their willingness to listen and willingness to consider, and then obviously to accept. It was all, there's a bunch of things out there that the general public doesn't know that go on behind the scenes, and it just happened that way, honestly. They both said yes about the same time, and you're just waiting for the right timing. And obviously, I lost two coordinators pretty close to each other. Had they been before the bowl game or not until after signing day, then you don't get this. But I think we can ride the momentum a little bit the last 10 days here recruiting. I think where we're at in recruiting, we don't have very many spots left. We had this class pretty much done throughout the fall. There's a few more that I think these two hires will help solidify, hopefully, and we'll see. And it's like I always say, we've won a lot of games without these recruits, and so if they want to jump on, then let's go, because we're going to keep on winning. I think we can win with some of them. So, we'll see. But I think the timing, it just kind of happened that way. But I think you capitalize. Hopefully, we capitalize a little bit here at the end.
Josh, Matt said he's seen how you structure an offense. And there was a big deal made, I thought, when Coach Orlando came in and adapted to the system. How's that going to be? These quarterbacks especially, a lot of new learning going on with these guys?
Well, there's some similarities to what Matt has done and what I've done in the past. Matt alluded to it. He came and visited me a couple times at Oklahoma, and so even some of the terminology is actually carryover from what I've done in the past. At the end of the day, for us offensively, we want to play fast, we want to play smart, and we want to play physical. Those are the attributes that we're going to carry with us moving forward as an offensive unit. How we are going to play is ultimately going to be determined by our personnel, what they can do to be successful. 2 years ago as an offensive coordinator, or actually my first 2 years, we're top 5 in the country in passing yards, top 10 in scoring. This past year, we wanted to make a shift a couple of years ago in what we were doing and how we were playing. Got into more quarterback run game. This year we're top 10 in the country in rushing. So we're going to find out what our personnel gives us the opportunity to do, put them in the best position to be successful, and go out and give ourselves a chance to compete every Saturday afternoon.
Coach Wells, for you,
Yeah.
you've been here since kind of the infancy of Utah State, and now and so what is it like for you now? You're in an established program to bring these guys in. You say you want to take it to another level. What level are you looking to bring it to?
Win the Mountain West Championship. That's the, I've said it, and I mean it. It's the trophy that's not in this building yet. We've won 3 straight bowl games, and that's great. And I think that's when you start taking a team to a program. Because, again, a program to me is a collection of teams year after year after year, throughout adversity, throughout different quarterbacks. And that's what we all want here for Utah State, for Logan, for Cache Valley, is that winning program. But, every day I walk up those steps, it's what do we got to do today to win the Mountain West Championship, to get to that stage, to be the one team out of the non-Power 5 that gets that bowl bid in the Fiesta Bowl. That's what we want. And that will be the goal. We don't have to talk about that every day. It's still about the process to get there. It's still about what are we doing next Monday in the weight room. It's still about what does Coach Heupel and Coach Clune come in here and do in their first offensive team meeting coming up here pretty soon, the first defensive, and the tone that's set and the expectations and how we win every day and each week. And, right now we're in that off-season phase, and this is when you make a team tough. You become tough in January and February, and that's what Coach Scholes and his staff and these coaches, as soon as we get off the road, we're about to, roll up our sleeves and jump right in with them, and that's the process. That's the goal in sight, to take this team from 10 wins, 9 wins, 10 wins, to 12 and 13, and that is a huge jump, and that's a big jump, and that'll drive us every day.
Coach Clune, other than personnel, what differences are you seeing between when you left and now that you've come back a year later?
Well, I've been here about 12 hours, so I gotta, be around here a little bit longer than that to see the main difference. But, I don't know, the things that I like, that I love seeing is just in the individuals and the way that last year Zach had to take this team over and lead. And so, I watched a number of games on TV. We played so late at UH that I was able to watch a lot of college football. And so watching a lot of those games and watching Zach be a leader, watching younger guys kind of step up and do things that hadn't seen done before. Watching Jalen come in here, a kid I recruited, play corner and do a great job, with that. Those types of things is seeing the guys put it on their shoulders and take the team and take it to that next step. And there was a lot of hard times last year that they had with everything that was going on with the quarterbacks and all that different stuff. And you saw them just keep fighting, which is great to see.
Josh, have you ever been in a situation where you've been able to coach 3 quarterbacks who all have winning records and all won bowl games?
Nah, this will be the first time. So hopefully we can keep the starter healthy for most of the season. But I think the success that they've had and the experiences are all going to bode well for us as an offensive unit and as a football team. And if something happens to one of them, the next guy will step up and has proven that he's going to play at a championship level.
First day on the job, any guesses who the starter will be?
Nah, no idea. And I'm sure I haven't been around Matt long enough here, but this thing's built around competition. You got to win every single day. You got to compete every day. You got to earn your position on the football field. And the 11 best guys are going to be the guys that are out there on that field.
You were the son of a coach.
Mm-hmm.
Did you always want to be a coach?
Yeah, got a degree in marketing. So if something happened, I wanted to get out of coaching and I have something to fall back on. But since I was a little guy, man, I was waking up at 5 in the morning, riding to 2 days with them. My dad was a defensive coordinator as a head coach, so I sat in on linebacker and defensive back meetings, and I'm a ball junkie, and this is what I want to do. Been passionate about it since I could tie my shoes, probably. So it's been a great passion in my life, and the reason I love college athletics is it gives you a platform to take 18-year-old boys and turn them into 22-year-old men. This game's about teaching life lessons to these young people, so it's a great privilege to have an opportunity to work with them every day.
You stay in touch with Sam Bradford?
Yeah, just talked to him about 10 days ago. So he's doing well, rehabbing, and excited about the next chapter, wherever that may be. But excited about getting healthy and getting back on the field and giving himself a chance to compete. And it's been a tough couple of years for him with the luck that he's had with the injuries, but knowing him, he'll stand back up, dust himself off, and be ready to play.
Kevin, for you, what's your #1 priority to bring this defense? You did lose Zach Vigil and you lose a couple other guys. What is your main priority now that you're here to bring the defense to another level?
I gotta look into that. Ask me that in a month, and I'll probably have a different answer. But really, it's about the next guys in and making sure that they're ready and that they're prepared for what's coming. Again, great schedule coming up, and when you lose your middle backer and your main safety, those guys are the brains of the operation, and so trying to find guys that can really run it, lead, and take care of business when things might be going bad. And that's hard to talk about, hard to do on the board. It's got to happen out on the field. It's got to happen, through rep after rep, and we just got to get there. We've got to find a way.
Any other questions?
Good? Okay, thanks, guys.